Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to the Fabienne Show. Today, I want to speak to the part of you who knows that she's ready for more in her business, more in her revenues, more in her delicious life. I want to speak to the part of you who knows, who feels in your bones that something is shifting. So let's just agree that you have done the work, right? You've gotten your business to a place that many people would admire. You've hit six figures, maybe multiple six figures. Maybe you're even at 1 million a year already or more. And you're serving your clients well. And you have proven that you can do hard things, right? And you should pat yourself on the back for that. And yet, it still feels like there is this invisible ceiling. Intellectually, you know that what got you here won't get you to that next big level. And you've probably started to feel frustrated, maybe even disillusioned. And maybe you're asking yourself, why am I still stuck at this level? Why does it feel like I'm working harder, but not actually getting further, or at least exponentially further? Maybe you're saying to yourself in your quiet moments, why do they reach that next level, but I'm not reaching those next level results yet? Why haven't those come? And this is me lovingly offering something to you. You know how often I talk about how important strategy is. And while that's important, it's not just your strategy. It's not just your pricing. It's not just your team. It's not the Instagram algorithm. It is your self-image. I see this all the time with the women that I get to work with in Bold Heart. Like you, they are ambitious, they're super smart, hardworking, and they are also completely operating from the identity of who they used to be. They're working from the self-image of the $100,000 a year entrepreneur, not the $100,000 a month entrepreneur. So what does that look like? Well, there's this hustler, right? This woman has to do it all. We've talked about hyper independence and perfectionism here on this podcast before. It's this identity of like the scrappy, I can figure it out by myself type of woman. And don't get me wrong, I have been that in the past as well. And you are too. And you are amazing. And that identity of yours is what got you here. But she is not the one who will take you to 1 million a year with 14 weeks of vacation, because new income requires a new identity. So if intellectually you're trying to scale, but you're still thinking like the woman who had to do it all herself, it's not going to work. And I just want to say, like with so much love, this is not your fault. This is literally how we are socialized in society. We are taught that success comes from doing more and trying harder and proving ourselves. I think it's our educational system that does this to us. We have to figure it out on our own and we have to prove. But at some point, that model that you learned starts to break. And you're probably experiencing that now. It's not because you are not capable, but because your identity hasn't caught up with your big vision. Let's talk about your big vision for a moment. I want you to think 10x, right? What does 10x look like for you? Does that mean you'll be at 1 million in your business? Does that mean you'll be at 10 million in your business? Whatever it is, you have currently outgrown who you think you are. And until you update your self-image, this is what I learned for myself. My God, it took me a while to get this, right? But until you update your self-image, you will keep shrinking your results to match the outdated identity that you're still carrying. Okay, I'm going to say that again because I really want you to hear it. If your current identity doesn't match that big 10x vision, you will shrink the vision in order to match your identity. This is how it works every time. And maybe no one's ever told you this, but this is what we talk about in the big conversations that I have with the people who choose to work with me. So let me break it down for you so that you understand it a bit better. Your identity is your subconscious programming. It's who you believe yourself to be. And it drives your behavior because it's your subconscious mind that drives how you take action and what actions you take. It's not your conscious mind where action comes from, right? The conscious mind controls willpower. And you and I know that we don't produce long-term results from anything that we do with sheer willpower. It just doesn't work. So your identity is what dictates what you'll allow, what you'll charge, what you put up with, how you show up, what boundaries you set, and how visible you are willing to be. It's your identity. It's lodged in the subconscious mind, and usually with what you witnessed or experienced or were taught before the age of 7. So if you're still subconsciously identifying with the scrappy solopreneur, the you that started her own business all those years ago, you will keep acting like her, even if consciously you're aiming for 7 figures. You're probably still undercharge, over deliver. You'll probably still micromanage your team, and you're going to overfunction to prove your worth. I just really want you to let that sink in. So you will still hide instead of shining. You will still believe that you need to work much harder when really you just need to step into a new version of you in the theater of your mind when you think about yourself, right? You need to step into her before you take any actions. And here's the tragic part. You will call it playing safe, or, oh, I'm just being responsible, or I've got to stay humble. But what's really happening is that you are shrinking to stay in alignment with an old version of you that is no longer true. Not if you want to go 10x, 2x, even 5x. And so here's what I've discovered for myself in my own journey, and what I share with others when we work closely together is you are allowed to evolve. In fact, you must evolve, because that next level version of you, the one with a world-class team, with leveraged offers, with consistent $83,000 months and 14 weeks of unplugged vacation every year, she doesn't hustle. She leads, and she holds firm boundaries with team and clients and vendors. She invests in herself and her business. She speaks powerfully but femininely, and she takes up more space. And she does identity work every day because she knows that the outer success will never exceed the inner version of who she believes herself to be. And that version of you, she already exists. She's waiting for you to, I hope it's okay to say, stop playing small and let her take the lead. So let me ask you something. What habits and beliefs and behaviors are you still carrying from your former $100,000 a year self? Are you still saying yes to every client, even though some of them drain you? Are you still keeping your prices low because you're afraid no one will pay more? Are you still doing things manually because it's just faster if I just do it myself? Are you still spending your energy proving your value rather than owning your value? Maybe you're still not speaking boldly about your work because you don't want to be that woman, or you don't want to offend. If there's a little part of you that's nodded yes to any of these, I just want you to know that it's okay. It's part of the process, and it just means that it's time for an identity upgrade, because that version of you is not going to create that business that pays you 7 figures a year. She will keep you at 100,000, 150,000, maybe 200,000 a year while being maxed out and wondering why it's not growing the way that it should. So now let's flip it. What would the 7-figure version of you never tolerate? What would she no longer say yes to? And what kind of clients would she turn down? What rates would she unapologetically charge? And what would she delegate immediately? Where would she invest in herself? How would she speak and walk and dress and market and lead differently? And what boundaries would she hold? What energetic shifts would she make? And most importantly, how would she think about herself? Would she see herself as the bottleneck or the visionary? As a helper or as a leader? As someone who needs to be humble or someone who knows that being fully expressed is her act of service to the world and her clients? Because, sister, begin embodying her now, today, not when the money comes, but before. That's when you collapse time. If you understand the quantum field, quantum mechanics, even the law of attraction, you understand that you can collapse timelines and make that person gallop towards you now. And that's when you make decisions from where you're going and not where you are now. You market from where you're going. You hire, delegate, price, position yourself from where you're going, not where you are now. Because success doesn't happen when you arrive. It happens when you become her. I really want you to let that sink in. You have to become her before she becomes herself. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Internally, this is the alignment that I always talk about. You have to align who you are with that goal that you have. And if you're acting or seeing yourself like a 6-figure entrepreneur, you're not going to become that 7-figure entrepreneur. Even if you are already at 7 figures and you dream of a delicious life and more time off, if you're not aligned with that vision on an identity level, it's not going to happen. And so I want to say this gently to you. You cannot journal your way into a new self-image alone. This is what I've discovered. You need mirrors. You need a container that holds you to your higher self. I've learned that you need to be surrounded by women who already are at your next level or those getting there and who won't let you shrink back into the old story, right? Imagine a rubber band. When you stretch it, it stays stretched. And that's what happens in the company of other people who are already there or almost there. But if you let it go, it goes back to being small. And so what I've learned in my own journey for myself, but also for others, is you need someone to say to you, stop asking how to do it and just start asking who you need to become. Yes, the strategy is still there. We'll still talk about funnels. We'll still talk about offers. We'll still talk about visibility. But what I'm talking about right now is the deep work that we do, right? We don't just strategize, we rewire the identity. It's about getting the tools that help you regulate your nervous system. It's about reframing your entire business model so that it's aligned with the future you as opposed to the current you or the past you. Because your subconscious runs the show. And you can't build a 7-figure business while operating from a 6-figure mindset. I'm just going to say that one more time because I really want it to land. You cannot build a 7-figure business while you are operating from a 6-figure mindset and identity. Again, it's because identity drives behavior. And so you may be saying, okay, Fabienne, I get it. What now? Well, I want to lovingly challenge you today, just because I care, right? I want you to take one bold action that the future version of you would actually take. Would she finally raise her prices even though she's scared? Would she stop checking her email at 9 p.m. or 11 p.m., just afraid that things will fall through the cracks? Would she hire that OBM or that fractional COO? Would she hire that mentor that she's been dancing around and finally get the help that she knows she needs? Would she say no to that client who doesn't align and is draining her? Would she get the support she needs? Whatever that is, I want you to do it today. Just one action. Why? Because you want to show your future self that you're no longer waiting. Your future self is already at the next level, and all you have to do is catch up to her. And that's how you'll create that 10x revenue the way your sisters in Bold Heart are doing. It's not magic, but it is magical. And this is what I do. This is why it works. This is why we normalize women at 1 million. And you can have this too. I know as you listen to this podcast, you may be saying to yourself, no, they're all going to get to 1 million, but I won't. But we normalize women at 1 million. Why? Because it's actually within your reach. I don't think anybody that I've ever taken to 1 million actually believed at first that she would get there. But then she does. All right? Something for you to think about. And if this episode stirred something in you, and you know that you've outgrown your current identity, but you're not sure how to step into your next level, I would love to support you. I am here for that. Could we just talk, you and I? I invite you to book a Get Acquainted call with me. This is a safe and spacious conversation where I will listen deeply to what's going on in your business, what's working, what's not working, what you dream about. And I will help you map out a plan because this is my jam. This is what I do. I am a futuristic person. I can see a bigger future than you can see for yourself. One, because I've been in this space for 25 years, coaching people to do this, but also because I have been at multiple 7 figures for 18 years. And I will show you, in fact, I will do it for you. I will create a personalized roadmap for you to get you to 7 figures in your way, not in anybody else's way. I will show you how to pay yourself much more and take up to 14 weeks of vacation a year. You will get your own roadmap, just like all the sisters in my program are doing. And that plan will be yours to keep. It will be my gift to you if you apply to speak with me. And if it feels aligned and you're curious, I will be happy to share what it looks like to work together in my signature Bold Heart program. It's, as you can imagine, where we combine strategy with mindset alignment, nervous system work, and the identity reprogramming that we talked about today that helps you grow so much more quickly to 7 figures, but without the burnout and with a lot more time off. If you want to speak with me, I invite you to go to the link in the show notes, or you can go to boldheart.com and go watch the video I have there for you. If it speaks to you, book a time with me. I just want to leave you with this. You are worthy of your next level, sister. You don't have to wait. You can just step into it, and you can just step into her. Let's get you there. Okay? I'm sending you so much love. See you soon.